Hello ladies and gents, I am Anadiffin, and welcome back to From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. In this episode I am hoping to expand the forces a little bit further, update a load of designs which I have had submitted since the last couple of episodes, and also to eliminate one of the Twin Guard HQs. So that is going to be a fairly major task. First of all though, let us showcase the new design, well, the replacement designs we have previously. So we have the Boomstick T3. I was meant to have spawned this one instead of the Boomstick T2, but I kind of messed up the spawning of it. And to be honest, it looks fairly similar. Though, it looks like it elevates a bit further, which was a comment I did make against the previous one. So hopefully this boomstick will work a little bit better. Otherwise it looks pretty similar to the T2 already spawned in, and I expect it will function in a similar manner. We also have another update of the Snow Cheetah. This time it is white camo. And it's also got a load of flags on it as well, using the new holograms, which I haven't actually played around with or even mentioned, but they essentially work a bit like the shield projectors, allowing you to project a image onto the sides of your craft, which is going to be absolutely fantastic for improving the aesthetics of builds, due to even simple cases like this, just having little flags on all around the vehicles to make them just look that little bit better. Not to mention the huge amounts of potential which that will have. The Warthog from Arboris has also been updated. This essentially has a load of the RTGs stripped out and had a steam engine put in, so it's a little bit of a cheaper design, and also does mean that it's going to be a lot cheaper to repair when it gets damaged, due to the fact that it won't have RTGs in it. Otherwise, I think it's actually the same. I think it was just those internal components which have been adjusted. And finally, on the updates, we have the Wyvern. I can't remember if any of the Wyverns are still alive, but this one has had just a few little bits of updates, namely like a I think it's now got shields, and I think these guns at the side have been vastly improved. I think it was only those three, so there's a lot more capacity in those rounds, and so it should be quite a bit more powerful craft now. Yes, hopefully that will work a little bit better as well. It does also have a bit more heavy armour on the hull, so when it does get hit, it should survive quite nicely. Though the wings themselves aren't particularly protected, so they could still be knocked off and make it fall out the sky, but it will be a rather resilient craft regardless. But on to the new designs for this episode. So we have four, again because we're updating a load of other designs. We have the Boomstick A4 by Archangler. So I thought the A would have standard for anti-air, but maybe it stands for armoured, because this looks a lot more robust than the other one. Yeah, it looks like it's solid lumps of heavy armour. So this should do very nicely against basically anything. So I'll just send it against the Onager and just see how well it functions. So it's just, it did lose a single block there, or lose a single corner, and it's just going to just absorb all of those hits, being a very, very powerful heavy armoured brick. Even the wheels aren't taking that much damage due to the fantastic use of heavy armour to protect them. It's taking a little bit of damage to the wheels, but not that much. And it's also got the shields and that, so yes, this is an incredibly potent craft there for absorbing and dishing out the hits. But the shield probably won't be good for very long range components and battles, but it will be very, very tough regardless, and that means it's going to just be able to absorb any shots against it. The fact though is only one gun, so it might not be much of a significant target. Speaking of more significant targets, we have the Decimator 2 by Charadon, and this is why I'd think it was a more significant target. Look at all these guns. They're all tiny little guns, but there's also missiles here, and just this sheer number of weapon systems will make this an incredibly wanted target. And the fact that it does have a lot of explosive components here means that it's likely to go kaboom fairly readily. We're sitting against the Sentinel though. So, big blast of direct feed guns there. Lots of fragmentation. There's like a fragmentation shotgun there. This is actually really good at taking off the barrels. Huh. There we go, little blast there. Those missiles don't seem to know where they're going. Ah, it's because they haven't got ejectors, so what's happening is they're hitting the end of the gantry as the vehicle's moving. But yeah, just those little, tiny little guns there, 60mm, is doing a really rather good job at just destroying all the soft components on this craft. So although it's not necessarily able to do much damage to the core, this vehicle has been disabled really rather rapidly as all of the detection systems and also the barrels have been stripped off. Admittedly, the detection systems isn't going to be much of a problem due to the fact that I'm running 0.99 detection, but yeah, look at these components being stripped off, and that just makes it so that other vehicles are going to strike with more powerful hits due to all the weak components already being destroyed, leaving the more powerful other vehicles to be able to deal the damage where it is needed, rather than losing entire cramshells hitting weak wood or pipe systems, which are normally for aesthetics. Next up, we have the E1 Zidafani, one remade by Monk Lizard. I have a lot of these Zidafani designs, and so I do wish to utilise some of them. They have enough to make it themselves and a force in their own right. And I do really want to use them because they look awesome. It's got absolutely gorgeous spaced arm at the side there, using barrels for spacing. I attempted something like this on a ship, but it looked absolutely atrocious, and this looks gorgeous. Admittedly, it does help that it's on a smaller vehicle than a ship, but regardless, it looks absolutely beautiful. The main gun does have a lot of ejectors at the side there, so it's probably going to be quite a volatile gun. If it takes a hit, it's pretty much going to lose all of its rounds and ammunition, but there's no denying that it looks really pretty for that. And with all of this, the armor at the side here, it does actually help with regards to defending it against hits. It's just a hit to the turret here will cause the whole thing to detonate, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. The rams at the front though also look really good, and they're on spin blocks there just to make this look very, very pretty. Importantly, let's see how well it faces off against a target. I have a feeling that the Onyx Watch is going to be a little bit tough for it. I'll see. See there, you see what I mean by launching all of its shells out when it takes a nasty hit. So I did think that might be the case. So let's just send it against something a little bit weaker. So its shell is pretty good. Now let's see how it takes sustained barrage of shots. Well, I got killed. But it looks like it is taking a decent amount of hits, and that actual the spaced armor there at the side is absorbing huge amounts of damage, and as is the ram. The gun though itself is still pretty vulnerable due to it being almost fully exposed. And that's probably been addressed in some of the other variants. But the main core of the tank is incredibly tough, and this range of vehicles and tanks is will be a very, very nice addition. It's just unfortunately I haven't got the space in my current forces to be utilising them all as of yet. I would like to, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to utilise them as much as I can unless I take a lot of casualties in a battle. And finally, in the new designs, we have the light main battle tank by Simillion. Ooh, interesting. Asymmetrical components. Always something I do like. Other than a few asymmetrical components, it doesn't look too much to it, it seems. Though it does all depend on this gun. This gun is a very potent weapon system, by the looks of it. So yes, it all depends on how well that fits in, as to how well it will do. Okay, so it has a very... So it's a burst... Oh, it's a burst of bone, not burst fragmentation. Also, its heavy number of components at the back is diverting shots away from its main gun. Just going to see how well that main cannon fires now. Ah, it's a good strong hit, it seems. If this machine gun was actually a fragmentation, it would probably be very, very potent. It's taking and absorbing hits very, very strongly. And the odd layout is actually proving to be absolutely great. The ammunition is at the rear, and also centre of mass is pushed quite far to the rear with this large rear section. And it means that enemy vehicles are not firing anywhere near the gun. It is now, because this main section has been taking the hits. But it's taking a very long time before the cannon actually was disabled. And in fact, oh no, the cannon is actually still functioning. And so it was able to still push out damage quite substantially even after it has taken a very nasty hit. What's the hit? So yeah, it's down to 75%. So yeah, it's taken down to 75% before it's actually disabled. And that was in direct close quarters combat. That sort of resilience while being heavily damaged is a really useful skill, and a lot of vehicles will benefit from that. So the fact that it's not necessarily a super powerhouse in its own right, the fact that it's not going to die will serve me very well in the future battles. Speaking of future battles, let's head over to the campaign. So I think I'm going to add the new vehicles in the Steel Empire Force here. Right, so the new designs have been added in to the Steel Empire Force, and I'm just going to go through all the designs which have been updated and update the requisite ones now. There we go. I have now updated all the designs. Admittedly, the names haven't changed, but the designs, the actual blueprints, have now been updated, which is awesome. So my goal is now to head towards that Twin Guard force there and take that out. Right, let's just wait for both of these Twin Guard forces to get together, because otherwise it's going to take ages to fight multiple battles. Might as well fight one together. Right, here we go. These ones are all ready to go now. So let's jump over to here and just set things up ready for this battle. Right, so although it's two forces Twin Guard, they don't really have that much firepower. So I think it's going to be a fairly easy victory. Probably just stay a little bit on our own side and just observe the battle go down. So yes, I'm not really too worried about the battle. I'm just essentially waiting for everything to get a bit damaged, then decide to jump in and capture as much as possible and speed up the victory, because yeah, waiting for the 2 minutes for the things to end up despawning is quite irritating. Also, everything does seem to be firing at my flak cannon up there, which is decent, because, well, it's quite resilient actually. It's not too explosive. Got a lot of heavy armour. And we have our own lasers firing at the enemy flyers, stripping them out quite nicely there. There's the two which dust leads, and it's Tostov's, I think, is the other one, the blue one from Tostov. So yes, they're doing rather well. And see, the flak cannon is still surviving. It's wasn't really built for high resilience, but its heavy armour is proving a fantastic diversion. And so I just quickly noticed that designs are getting heavily damaged, so I decided to jump in from the stake and just jump in directly towards the base units, getting injured by my flak cannon there with its long range, and then very quickly capture a couple of the bases straight away and head over to the other one there. Jumping over to another vehicle, seeing if I can capture it before it completely despawns, which I do manage to accomplish, just speeding up the victory. Right, so I did manage to capture a couple of the torsos there, which is fine. That was the main goal. The main goal was in the capturing was just to speed up the battles there, which it did do nicely. Right, it looks like we have the twin card up again, and for some reason they didn't actually manage to finish the repairs. I don't know why that is the case, but there we go. And we just need to finish positioning things, and then we'll get right into this. Oddly enough, despite this being only one combat force, there is actually more here. Oh no, wait, this is the garrison. Right. Oh, that means the HQ is going to be a right easy kill. No matter. Yeah, so I'm a bit concerned that the base is going to be a little bit easy to kill here, but that's how it happens really. A couple of bases did actually just smash into the hull above, completely annihilating them. That's a bit annoying because it does mean there's less enemies to fight, but I suppose it does make the battle a bit quicker. Because already, you can see there's already, what is that, 4 designs, already 2 damaged AI dead. That is insane. And the battle has only been going on for about a minute or so, which is quite insane for the speed of battle going there. And so I decided again, jump on the stake and jump down towards the units to try and catch them as quickly as possible. Getting over to the bases there, and again just capturing them by moving fairly close to them, not really ever having to do anything myself, which is quite nice. And yep, just moving in, I see the colour changes, and it becomes mine, and yeah, excellent. Oddly enough, the battle didn't finish because the HQ actually spawned in, or the temporary HQ, I think it's the Bertha. And so yes, just watching this getting completely annihilated at long range, the top's taking quite a lot of damage. The base unit though itself is not really, well, it's barely taking any damage at all. It's just the top part there, which is taking all the hits. Fortunately, it's not taking too much of a toll on my forces, and it's really just, you know, observing as everything does completely bombard it into, well, oblivion, I guess. Still, it takes a little while to destroy it. Well, it does seem to be making, and the firepower of this force seems to be lacking a little bit, which is a bit odd, because at this point I'm saying, you know, let's jump in and try and capture the, well, at least either top of the base. And so I jump in, and it's just I basically keep on dying because this base unit is just taking such a massive beating. I skipped out a huge section of just various attempts of me jumping in, dying, constantly just trying to capture the base unit because it is ridiculously tough. And I'm not sure how, well, it's a combination of how tough the base is, but also just the firepower of the force seems to be lacking somewhat at this range, and I'm not entirely sure what is the cause for that. Maybe it's something to do with ammunition creation of this force, preventing it from sustained battles. Oh, yikes, that was quite a bit more painful than I was expecting. But I don't think we actually lost that much. Oh, we were so close to losing the new weapon. Unfortunately, we did lose the Bernstar Paladin. But I think everything else just survived. It did. We also took a fair few torsos as well. There's a big blow to the Twin Guard. So we're going to move the spy satellite up here, across there. This Twin Guard force is going to move back to over here and try and consolidate against some of these forces. I think now take on this Onyx Watch force. It looks like the enemy have quite a bit of firepower in a handful of vehicles. Hang on, is that... Why is it spawned over there? Whatever. Let's carry on with the battle. And so we have all our Onyx Watch flying up into the sky, and yeah, they're kind of shooting everywhere. Just trying to see what design they're sort of focusing on, because they aren't really focusing on anything at all, which is a bit odd. They normally always focus down on one target. Taking a good chunk out of that design there, taking out the wheels, but the ERA is making it survive nicely. The turret from the Gatling gun thing is moving around. And there is already things taking nasty hits, particularly my laser hover just took a really nasty cram hit, and it's taken several more. It doesn't have the arm at all in order to cope with that, and so it's falling out of the sky. The Moose again is taking a huge battering of hits, and is actually getting very close to being the point of despawning. However, its repair capabilities is just insane. So long as I have materials, I'm basically never going to lose the Moose. So I do keep checking now and then, just to observe how well its health is doing. So again, just checking there, one identifier. That's not the Moose. Is it the Moose? No, it's the Moose. Yeah, it looks like the Moose. Anyway, just going on a little battle, just a little bit on, just observing how things are going on. I just checked up the main map to see where everything was, but nothing much happened. Long range combat now going on with the few Onyx Watch remaining. I would have sped this up a little bit more, but whenever I move the camera around, if I go beyond about 400% speed, it was getting a little bit janky with the manoeuvring. So although I would quite like to, speed this up a little bit more, because it's quite, well, not much is going on, and so I also decided to capture as well. I get myself stuck actually on the vehicle, but there's something which does happen quite a lot, I found, when you're trying to enter the vehicles. You kind of get stuck on some of the components. Still, when you're jumping into them, was very quickly to take out the AI, and that actually speeds up the battle as well. Because although I'm just capturing to speed up the battle, but it does actually help increase the materials as well I receive from victory, which is pushing me up to very high material results in these battles. Just watching that fling around by the grav rounds, great fun. Right, what do we lose in the Onyx Watch Force then? Nothing! Again, the vehicles took quite a bit of damage, but they pulled through successfully, which is always nice. Right, so I think it's good to have the Reserve Force go into combat. I see some of the new designs. Well, the designs which were only deployed in a single battle last time. So we have a big lineup of all the barely used vehicles. The Red Hammer series and all sorts of Charadons. We've got a bit of stuff from everyone really. Let's see how they all fare. Yeah, one little big concern is quite a lot of these designs I don't think have inertial fuses, and a lot of them, so if they're hitting targets with shields on, that will be a bit of a problem. Though these Twin Guards don't seem to have too many shields, and the few particle accelerators we have in place seems to be absolutely fantastic, along with, I think there's only some lasers there? Yeah, one of those are the laser spares. I think it's just lambs from our side. But yeah, so you can see here and there munitions pinging off what few shields they do have. But the main problem is actually have vehicles crashing into each other, causing just a general bit of damage across the board there. Nothing too major, but a little bit of damage across the board. Pretty much already the Twin Guard forces are in a state of 2 damaged or destroyed, which is, well, not really surprising as to how tough they are, and their firepower is fairly low. It's just their repair resilience which is what's tough, and so long as you're able to capture them or get close to them, they aren't much of a threat, it seems. And so compared to some of the other forces, the damage just isn't up to par, I'd say. That the Onyx Watch, the cram cannons are insane. Steel Empire have some very nasty abilities like grav rams, and the Lightning Hoods, their lasers are pretty potent due to lack of laser defenses mainly. So again, here I am just jumping in just to capture bases to speed up the battle, and it really does speed it up, considering in previous episodes when I was doing this would take absolutely ages, where it's just reduced down to a couple of minutes or so of gameplay. Right, so that was a fairly successful battle. I think we only lost the one thing, and that was the Scrapanther. unfortunately you're defeated. We'd almost lost a couple of other designs, but they did manage to pull through okay, which is always nice. Also did manage to claim a few more holes of our own for quite a few more materials, which is always nice. It's actually pushing my total up very, very high. So now we have the Steel Empire force against the Steel Empire. A bit of novel. Well, we do have a huge combat force here. We are facing off against a few Polaris. Is this? Oh, it looks like they've got 2 combat forces in. Okay, that's going to lengthen the battle a little bit longer than I'd like, but they've got 3 Polaris, and it really depends how they function as to the outcome of this battle. If they all detonate, then this battle's easy. However, if either 1 or 2 hit, then there's going to be quite a few casualties. Of course, that didn't actually make any difference whatsoever. All of them blew up instantaneously. I just have a quick check to see that none of the missiles have stunk below the surface, and no. All 3 blew up, including their missiles. Which suddenly makes this battle a lot easier, because they also seem to have taken out most of their LAM systems, and their LAM systems are very, very good at taking down pretty much all the missiles from my forces, as well as a good number of other munitions. So the various particle accelerator shots, as well as some of the new barrages from the new vehicles there. Just observing some of the missiles flying around, just generally doing a little bit of damage here and there. And it is a little bit of damage because the Steel Empire do have LAMs, but not that many. As you can see there, you charge onto tank firing its barrage. Fortunately, it's firing a little bit at long range, so they're actually running out of range before they hit their target. Just observing how well Zodafani is doing, because I'm just a bit concerned that that's going to get hit and vent all of its shells. So jumping in the cockpit of that and just lending Rambot's repair capabilities should it take a hit at all, though it doesn't seem to have been the case. Doing a little bit of observation long distance, seeing how things fare, what's actually going on, and some nice, very pretty tracers scouring across the map towards the few Steel Empire remaining there. And yeah, it's looking very pretty, and it's going to be, well, going to end in their destruction very soon. Because, well, we outnumber them absolutely massively in block count and total numbers. As I said, the loss of those Polaris really, really hampered them right from the very start of this battle. Let's see if we can even capture this thing, because if we can capture those Scarabs, that is a lot of materials and a lot of resources, which would really, well, go towards to getting over 200k, which would be an awesome amount of materials to have at this point in the campaign. Good grief, my materials have gone over 200k. That's kind of insane. And my forces are just getting stronger and stronger, which is... that's a little bit irritating. I want there to be a bit more turnover of forces, but it's going well. I can't really justify just deleting a load of the designs either, due to how I've been playing. Anyway, that's going to have to be it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths Ashes of the Empire Community Edition with myself and Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more From the Depths videos and other games, and also swing by the Discord channel for more direct interactive chatting. Otherwise, that's going to be it from me for today, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!